Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for CPS Boxing News to introduce one of the professional boxers, super bantamweight, if I'm not mistaken, leanne, Calderon Smith. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I mean, what can I say? I mean, 2023, it's here, and women's boxing, I can see all of you ladies are performing, more events and everything. And but let's go, over that. I mean, eventually, you just recently had a fight. How was it for you, to perform and everything like that?
It was great. I actually got to step on one of the bigged platforms in boxing. I fought on DAZN, the Golden Boy promotion. It was unreal. It was amazing. It was everything I could have ever hoped for. Although I didn't get my hand raised at the end, it was still a great fight. We threw down.
Hey, I mean, when I take my hat off from my head because every time that all of you ladies perform, it's amazing. I've been asking this question to every female fighter. It's is there any round of a study that each other, they're gonna be like, "Ah, I'm gonna see what she's gonna throw on me." You can answer to me that.
Sometimes, but a lot of the times, I ended up just relying on instinct. Um, I, I don't know if you saw it, but I got dropped in the second. I got clipped, and right after that, I came back. It was just forward motion ever since that, and it wasn't really like setting anything up. I was just going off of instinct, and it was a killer instinct.
Wow, amazing. I mean, so much respect for what you just mentioned to you just got up and everything like that. I mean, right now the thing that you mentioned to me, it reminds me of Andy Ruiz Jr. when he got dropped off by Anthony Joshua, and he went like,
Yes,
whoa. And he answered to some questions in the press conference. He says, "Wow, I never got knocked out, but when I got knocked out, it's like the energy, it's like adrenaline and everything came to me, like giving me this type of energy. Got up, and then I say, I'm gonna pay you back." And look at what
right,
happened. And look at what
right,
happened. First loss on Anthony's Joshua career, and it was amazing. I was there for that fight, and
wow,
incredible. I mean, there's no words to how can explain how this magnificent and emotional moment for Andy Ruiz and family and friends and everyone, because he was the underdog. He was the underdog, and so people
right,
cry. I gotta tell you in the interview, I'm not ashamed to that. I cry as well because I never expect the Andy Ruiz could have win. I mean, I had a hope, but I
right.
say he's going against the best, one of the best heavyweight champion and athletes, who's Anthony Joshua, and everything. It was impressed on that night. But let's go with the
Yeah.
women's boxing. How you started in boxing? I mean, what makes you to become a professional boxer? Because I always tell this thing to every female athlete. With all due respect to you and everyone out there, I say women's. I mean, I see so much beauty on all of you. In general, and I see they could be modeling clothes, shoes, high heel shoes, things like that. But putting two gloves on and say, I want to become a fighter. What makes you to enter in the sport of boxing?
Well, I grew up with boxing. I grew up watching it with my brothers and my father, tios and cousins and everyone. But you know, I grew up around it. It was something that my dad didn't want me to pursue at a younger age, especially because he's like, it's a dangerous sport. You shouldn't do something like that. But me, I was a tomboy. I wanted a challenge, and so when I got older, and I was able to make my own decisions, I started doing kickboxing, and then it translated into MMA, and then I stuck with boxing. So
Hmm.
uh, it's more of the challenge. Like I know the technique and how good I can be, and how honestly how great I can get. That pushes me to that limit. Like, hey, I can throw down. Like I got hands. Let's see where I can take this because
Uh,
not very many people. One, you have to have the chin. You have to have the technique and skill and the instinct. So I just use it's a huge challenge, and it's something that I want to continue to prove.
Wow,
that I can do.
amazing! Because all these things, all the skills that you just mentioned, is like compose and
Yeah.
becoming a warrior. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I always be amazed when I see the ladies. They come in and perform and everything. But talking about that, I mean, one thing that you just mentioned, your dad is probably the one who didn't want you to continue this career, and I've been asking questions to other female athletes. Sometimes the dad and mom, they push these athletes to go and perform and learn boxing for one self defense. Another thing is like to be healthy. These people that they tell me, that these ladies that they told me one time, I'm not ashamed to say that I was overweight. So my dad put me in boxing to lose weight. Once I started feeling good, I'd be like, this is my thing. I gotta continue doing it, and that's how everything started in boxing. Most likely, some of the questions they've been answered to me, that type of answer that I just mentioned. And it's amazing how all of you ladies perform for all of us. I was just talking to someone. I mean, we're gonna go ahead for that. I said it when I was in Amanda Serrano's camp. I remember one time when I did the interview to her, and she says, I'm switching for MMA, and I'd be like, why? I mean, you're such a great athlete. I mean, what can I say? I mean, you're amazing. But she says to me, I remember in the interview she said it, that she wasn't get paid, enough, and probably MMA will be for her. So she was gonna be leave boxing, and I remember that time, I can see kind of sadness in her face and say, "Wow." I said we gotta support women's boxing as much as we can, because it cannot happen this, because at the same time, all of you, they sacrifice. Now an example with you, with all due respect to you, you are a wife, mom, everything, Wonder Woman.
Right.
So we gotta give you the credit, and then I said the
Yes.
same thing at that time. I said we gotta give it credit to Amanda Serrano, and not only that, to support, including and from the amateurs. I mean, I've been doing interviews in the amateurs. Most people, they ask me, why you do amateurs, why you go and interview someone that it might be not, well known in the world of boxing. I said, to me, it's appreciation, it's a value that I give it to all these female athletes, whether you are a professional, whether you are an amateur. Let me tell you something, in to become a champion, everything has to start from the amateurs, right or wrong. So that's
Right.
why I be intriguing, when I intriguing myself into pursue boxing from the beginning. Some people, they be like, no, I don't waste my time, but not it's not my case. When I say I support women's boxing, it's in general. I mean, I couldn't say all
That's
of you
awesome.
are the champions. All of you are the champions in my eyes, but I'm not the one who decide who's gonna be winner or losing that fight. So it's up to you, all of you ladies. But yeah, let's go ahead on Amanda Serrano's, and we just recently had Erika Cruz against Erika Cruz. What an amazing fight! What can you tell me about women's boxing? That right now images like Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, Alicia Baumgartner, Clarissa Shield, Havana Marshall, Cecilia Brecos, Jessica McCaskill, and so many names out there. Sinise Estrada, oh my God, so many names out there. How do you see this movement of women's boxing now? Is walking in this era.
It's amazing. I mean, like I said, I grew up watching boxing, and it was obviously a male dominant sport up until now. And I really expected it to be as big as it, and it's so refreshing to see, especially because I'm in the sport now. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's overwhelming, and these women have skill. It's not like they're just throwing girls in there and like, oh, let's calling it what it is. But no, everyone has these amazing abilities, and they are throwing down. So it's amazing to see. Every single fight that I watch, I learn something new. You see their talents, their techniques, the way that we push our bodies and ourselves to be at that shape. You know what I mean? To be able to perform at that level is it's not easy,
No, it's
but we
not.
keep and we're showing that we're doing it.
All of you ladies, I mean, paying the price for that. Like I said, I mean, I'm so happy that right now, Amanda Serrano and other female athletes, they achieving their goals because like I said, I remember when Amanda Serrano told me in an interview. I gotta look it back, and find out where is this interview. But I'm gonna see if I can repost and remember, when to all the fight fans, when you could see her face that she was uncomfortable, not feeling well in boxing. I mean, I said you are a great athlete. I mean, but right now becoming featherweight undisputed, it's amazing, amazing goal, and taking my hat off from my head to her, and of course Erika Cruz, because it was amazing, amazing. She got cut in her head, um, amazing, walking
Sir,
those 10 rounds, and not quitting the fight.
exactly.
That says a lot to her, and I remember I said it to her, there's nothing to be ashamed, Erica. You're gonna go back, you're gonna came back, stronger. This is not the end of your career, so continue doing. And I told her, I promise that I'm gonna visit to you in whether it's at the gym or whether it's at the National Guard, because she's also a National Guard police officer. So imagine that.
Yeah.
She's a soldier. I'll be like, whoa, what type of soldier we found over here? But amazing. So what can you tell me about right now? A performance from every athlete. Like, let's say an example, Amanda Serrano, who is being paving, the sport of boxing, and right now, I told someone else, and with all due respect to her and everyone else, I feel like she's the Canelo.
Right.
Everyone wants to choose, whether it's Amanda, whether it's Katie Taylor, or anyone else, like, let's say an example, Alicia Baumgartner, a unifying super featherweight champion. What can you say about, now these athletes, they want to pursue, Amanda, or those type of names that I just mentioned. What can you say about it?
What can I say about Amanda?
In general, I mean, those people that, well, let's say an Amanda Serrano, like I said, she's.
She she has worked her butt off. She's dedicated so much, and she's expressed it. And without her expressing it, we would, she, like she said, she doesn't have a phone. She doesn't do, there's a lot of things that she doesn't do, that she's given her life fully to boxing, and it shows. That hard work and that dedication shows, and it just makes you kind of step back and reflect, like, what, it's not just you, it's everyone. Every athlete is going to go through that. You have to sacrifice it, and she's proven it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I used to be in one of her camps, seeing her and watching her to do sparring with guys. I'd be like, whoa. I mean, she's amazing, and I know out there, maybe yourself as well, and every other athletes, they do sparring with men's. I remember Mariana Juarez Barbie from Mexico City. She told me, when I gotta prepare for fights, I choose men's, because I know they throw hard, they punch hard, and I need this type of training camp, because my opponent is gonna come with everything. She's gonna try to take off my head from my head, from my body, and everything. So I gotta prepare for anything that comes. And I'm pretty sure, every female athlete use men's as sparring partners, and it's amazing. Talking about
We do.
say.
We do. I do farm
Oh,
get
there
ready
you
for.
go. There you go. Just to introduce a little bit more of yourself, Mrs. Smith. You just
Yes.
mentioned out of the interview, your husband is preparing for a fight. In what weight class is he fighting? I mean, eventually, fight fans would love to know how he's gonna come and perform in his next fight.
Yeah, so he's fighting March 12th in Texas. He fights in the weight class 7. It'll be a second professional fight, and I'm excited. Actually, in the same school here at Artiniego Boxing in Texas. So we train here, and yeah, he'll be fighting. His name's Keith Smith, fighting March 12th at San Antonio.
Wow,
So
amazing, amazing. I mean, it's like the two of you, with all due respect to you, you match and you link with the sport, because I like I said, I hear stories where sometimes the woman is the boxer, but the man doesn't do boxing, and it's hard to clinch and link with that type of life. Sometimes
Right.
the other person or the other part doesn't understand her world, or from over here from her world doesn't understand his world and everything. So I'm glad to see two athletes at the same time and working with marriage, issues, the daily things that comes in life. But eventually you all of you are here. And I was saying before, I mean, talking about amazing things. Let's talk about someone that has done so much in his career. Amazing person. I mean, I know some people they criticize him, and because they want to see probably Julio Cesar Senior Chavez in him, but it's not him. I mean, it's himself. He brings what he does the best: discipline and athlete. Let's talk about Canelo Alvarez. What do you think about his era? Most likely when I say Canelo Alvarez, whether they criticize him or not, his name sells fights, his name sells tickets, and right now I can say, with all due respect to anyone out there, he's the face of boxing. I mean, because every boxer wants to face Canelo. What can you
Yeah.
say about his career?
I love him. I've loved him since the beginning. He's been one of my favorite fighters to watch. His skill, his talent, everything. I've watched him from the very beginning that he first started. He's just grown so much as an athlete. He seems like he's getting to the point where he's just unstoppable. His last fight, okay, well, you face one of those every once in a while, but he is just an amazing fighter. His skill, his vision, his technique, everything. He's one of my favorites.
I can say, that he's one of the athletes that I respect him on so much, on him for what he does, what the stories that he's been telling to everyone that he used to sell. If I'm not mistaken, lollipops when he was a kid, jumping in the buses, public buses, selling those lollipops that he got on him and everything. And what can I say? I mean, I'm pretty sure, coming back to Guadalajara, Mexico, where he's coming from, there are gonna be so many memories that he's gonna come and he's gonna think about when he was a kid and things like that. So I think it's amazing when we talk about Canelo Alvarez, and not only him. This example is for everyone out there. With all due respect to everyone. You just mentioned his last fight didn't go well. I mean, so much respect from my behalf because I said this. To going against a tough fighter and an opponent like Dimitri Bivol is not easy. I mean, and jumping weight classes in order to get there is not easy neither, because only 1 pound, I always said it one. And when I put in my example, when I gotta lose weight and I feel like a little bit heavier, I said to lose only 1 pound, it costs so much effort. So imagine to jump on weight classes, gaining
Right.
more weight and carry your power on that is not easy. So much respect for Canelo for what he does. I'm pretty sure rematch with Dimitri Wolf probably is in the plans at the table. I don't know, but what can you see? What can you say about Canelo if this fight happens against Benavides?
Oh, I believe he's gonna take it. I've just always been a fan of him, and no matter who's in front of him, I'm with Canelo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will. It's gonna be amazing this type of fight, because I mean, let's not forget Benavides also carries Mexican blood, Mexican
Right.
heritage. I think he's half Ecuadorian, half Mexican, but I know he has a heart, and I'm pretty sure if that fight happens, it's gonna be amazing. But first thing first, Benavides has to face Caleb Plant, and we gotta stay tuned, see what comes in this fight.
Yeah.
Uh, for everyone out there, I mean, let us know where does it come from, the nickname Badass?
Well, I mean, growing up, my dad used to always tell me, like, he never wanted, but if I needed to protect myself, he would say, like, you better be a little chingona and start, handle business if it ever got to that point. Bullies, and I did have people try to bully me who were bigger than me. And he's like, talk your way out of it, but if you get backed in a corner, you better start throwing some chingazos. So
Yeah, so that's
that's for
basic.
the day.
That's basically where it came from. I mean, hey, well, at the same time, I say sometimes we gain nicknames that it describes ourselves. Sometimes, like I said, there be people who call ourselves from our nicknames and be like, So we get used to it, and then sometimes, because I remember one time I interviewed someone and I say, are you bothered if someone calls you by your nickname? He said, no, most likely people call me like that. They don't even call me by my name. So I'll be like, it's okay. So that's amazing. Sometimes when we get this type of nicknames or sub names that eventually they describe as a person that we are. And of course, but before we wrap it up with this interview, I like to say thank you to yourself, to your husband as well, and wishing nothing but the best for both of you and his upcoming fight. What message would you like to deliver to the fight fans and everyone, family, in general, community?
I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone's support off of my last fight. Like I said, my hand raised, but everyone felt that I won that fight. And it's kind of hard to say because it was on a big platform. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who's ever supported me, who's always been in my corner from the beginning. Families out there, the Smiths are coming. We're brand new to the scene, but we're coming.
Oh,
This
yes.
year's our. Be ready for it.
Definitely. I mean, nothing to say, only just respect. Take, like I just mentioned in your text message. Keep your head up. Nothing happens. This is part of boxing. I'm not trying to say, to try to maybe, fix things. But I said this, the sport of boxing. Sometimes you take a loss, you take a win, and it's amazing, how we get remembered by these type of fights. I mean, what can I
Right.
say? I always mention to people, don't take it wrong, if I said this because we've seen great fighters, Oscar De La Hoya, Fernando Vargas, so many names, Sugar Shane Mosley, so many, Manny Pacquiao, Marquez, all of them, they got losses in their careers. But guess what? What an amazing fight they gave, to all the fight fans. So that's how the sport it is, and nothing happens to you. I'm pretty sure you will come back, stronger, wiser, and better than before. So we
Most
will
definitely.
stay tuned. I don't say goodbye because I'm pretty sure I will contact you in the future for another interview. So I like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity, the space, and God bless you. And the whole thing that you're gonna continue doing on women's boxing, and of course in your family as well.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much again.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate for your
Thank
time
you.
as well. Thank you.